crazy. This is my first impression of it. I'm quite embarrassed to be an American some days.
For our human race, but I mean, that's a vague answer. I can go into depth.
It's already affecting us. I mean, there's been a lot of hatred and racism since the elections. I have to pinch myself to remind myself, like, wow, this is the United States of America. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, for sure.
I mean, it's just because we don't see it here at home, but like, people are going through so much outside in other countries, and it's like, oh, it's happening on the other side of the world. It doesn't affect us.
I think they're effective as long as they're nonviolent.
I don't know, it's like ignorance behind, to a certain point, ignorance behind physical violence.
It's not necessarily a good thing, but it is effective. Reaches the headlines.
I think there's more power behind ideas and, dialogue.
Fight for your rights to say, other than link up with like-minded people and to be out there. I think it is worth it.
Definitely a lot going on, so it's hard to really stay on top of every topic and every issue that's at hand, especially with the 24-hour news cycle. So I try to focus in on what is the real issue and what's more of a distraction.
One of the things I think he's doing that's fantastic is he's starting to cut down on regulations. We saw him issue a number of executive orders within his first few days of presidency, and I think a lot of those were very, very effective.
Being on a college campus with the new education secretary, I think that could have some really negative effects, especially because this is a public institution, and I really don't want to see education being privatized, and I don't want to see a competition between private universities and public universities. I think education is something that should be accessible to anybody.
Well, I don't think it's an immigration ban. I think that's another example of the left sort of controlling the dialogue. What Trump wants to do is he wants to put a temporary halt to make sure that we're able to vet people before we come in. There's nothing unrealistic or unreasonable about expecting to know who you're letting into the country. And we are a country of immigrants, and Trump said time and time again he wants to let people in after we figure out who they are, after we make sure that they're safe people. I think that's very reasonable.
So I don't think we need to isolate more. I do think we need to come together. So I think they can be a positive thing if they're handled correctly. There's a fine line between a protest and a riot, and I think destruction of property I would never condone. But I think displaying your ideas and displaying your thoughts and your beliefs is really important and something that should be protected.
Peaceful protests are a great thing. If you're protesting peacefully, that's fantastic, but that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing people who want to shut down freeways or smash windows or create chaos.
I think they usually stem from a really important place and a really positive place, but that doesn't always necessarily get reflected, especially when you have a protest and a counter-protest that converge. Which can be a great thing. I think it's really important to talk to people who disagree with you, because that's how you find common ground. That's how you make your own arguments valid.
We're also here to represent students who may be afraid to come out and say they support us. Because I know as a closeted Trump supporter, it's kind of hard to express your views.
President Obama, he had his fair share of executive orders as well, which was a lot easier to take because they aligned more with my values. So there are definitely things that we need to be concerned about, and I'm just really hopeful that the checks and balances will keep that in line.
I think nationally we're headed in a good direction. I think the fact that Republicans have a lot of control at the federal level is going to mean a lot of good things for this country, but locally there's still a lot that we need to do.